Today we'll go through some movements that you can incorporate into your training just using it in a park bench. First movement is the step through or the speed vault, which is the one-handed 1-foot vault. So you're walking up to the obstacle, placing one hand up, placing the opposite leg up, and then you're stepping over the obstacle. It's important with this one with the stepping through leg to point your toes to keep your body going forwards so you keep going straight. As you get more comfortable, you can start playing around with jumping more into it. Next movement you can play around with is the palm spin, which is using the bench to spin around. So you're placing one hand on the bottom on the seat, one hand on the top where your back rests, then you're jumping up, tucking your legs and sweeping through. You can do this one without the jump by placing your feet and walking your feet through the bench. Alright, the next movement is the shoulder roll. So you start sitting on the bench and you're rolling over your shoulders and back to sitting. Looks something like this. So the side you're rolling on, you reach down with your hand, reaching down as low as you can. The other arm reaches behind you, reaching back towards the back of the seat for support, and using that as a pivot. This one can be a bit tricky to keep your balance, so give it a few tries to keep going. Good luck. Next challenge is a cartwheel variation, so placing one hand on the back of the bench, one hand on the seat, and you're pivoting over, supporting yourself with your arms. This one can seem scary, but if you're confident with your cartwheels, it's not too bad. You just have to be wary of where your feet are landing as you exit from the bench. Alright, next one is a bit of a silly challenge. You're rolling up and over the bench. So for this one, you have to make sure you're placing your wrist and elbows at the back side of the bench where the back and the sitting part meet. Further back you place your hands, the more likely you're able to go over. You just have to be wary of not slamming you back down on the back of the bench. Next one is the inversion of that, so we're rolling over the bench. So we're reaching over as if like a gate bolt and we're incorporating into a roll. So reaching over with whichever arm you're rolling on, grabbing on with the opposite hand on top of the bench, reaching down towards the seat, your elbow forward onto the seat, and then you're lowering your shoulder down as close to the connection of the sitting part and the back part, and then swinging your legs down and over. This one can seem scary at first, but as long as you got a good connecting with your opposite hand, it should be fine. Last challenge is a bit of a scary one, so we're going over backwards over the bench in a macaca type of movement. So you start off sitting on the bench with your hips nice and high, and you're reaching down behind your one hand, then with the other hand you're reaching over your head and trying to make contact. Starting off, you can start off using more of a cartwheel type motion. As you get more confident, you can start reaching more behind you and going more backwards. These are just some other ways you can use a bench in your training. Have fun with some of these challenges. Stay safe.